Okay, so how many of you are hot today? Hot. Outside it's hot. Most people.
Oh, that's different. I'm hot every day.
Alright, so my topic is global warming, and well, a lot of people are afraid of the fact that global warming is a major issue and will have severe consequences on our world unless something is done about it. A lot of these people are afraid that if people continue to run their lives as they are, we will destroy our planet. They think that the carbon emissions we put off are affecting the atmosphere and thus warming up the planet. But that leads me to my main claim, which is the problem of global warming doesn't actually exist, at least not in the sense that humans are creating it. So the theory of global warming started about 25 years ago, when in the summer of '88, a horrible heat wave hit. A respected atmospheric scientist, James Hansen, gave a reason why it was so hot. The Earth is warming in 1988 than at any time in the history of instrumental measurements. The greenhouse effect is changing our climate now more than ever. But what is the greenhouse effect? When sunlight warms the Earth, certain gases in the lower atmosphere, acting like glass in a greenhouse, trap some of the heat as it radiates back into space. These greenhouse gases, primarily water vapor, and including carbon dioxide, methane, and man-made fluorofluorocarbons, warm our Earth, making life possible. The greenhouse effect is a naturally occurring phenomenon, and greenhouse gases make life possible because without them, the Earth would have below freezing temperatures. People that believe global warming is a problem often blame the greenhouse effects as man-made, but burning wood and fossil fuels and releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, humans do introduce carbon dioxide, but nature accounts for most of the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Global warming activists also think the destruction of forests worsens the greenhouse effects. But when trees and plants grow, they remove carbon dioxide from the air. When they are burned or decayed, they release stored carbon dioxide back into the air and the atmosphere. In nations such as Brazil, thousands of square miles of tropic rainforests are being cleared and burned, leading to many to be concerned about further carbon dioxide buildup. However, there has been no reliable data about the impact of forest destruction on global warming. Research by Daniel Boken and Lloyd Simpson at UC Santa Barbara shows that carbon content of forest has been vastly overestimated, suggesting that deforestation is not as great a source of carbon dioxide as once thought. Another reason why people believe in global warming is because governments and organizations everywhere are pushing the issue. Global warming has been a great reason to raise money for such organizations. The catastrophic global warming message is literally everywhere. Advertising messages from corporations and their social responsibility to sell their environmentally responsible products, and huge numbers of Hollywood stars and international political leaders have endorsed the mantra of the Church of Global Warming, so to speak. Millions and millions of dollars are being spent to influence literally every corner of the earth to accept global warming as a fact. The world is throwing away billions of dollars because of speculation, and there might be a global crisis without any hard evidence. This money could be going into more reasonable causes, like making food and water available to those that don't have access to those necessities, or something else more prominent and real than global warming. For example, according to the Canadian press, Environment Canada brags about spending almost $4 billion in the last 5 years dealing with climate change, almost all on propaganda, while at the same time closing their weather stations and failing to meet legislated pollution targets. Democratic Senator Timothy Worth of Colorado explained to a reporter that they had to ride the global warming issue. Even if the theory is wrong, we would still be doing the right thing in terms of economic and environmental policy. Global warming doesn't exist. It is an irrational theory that does not use concrete proof. Earth's climate trends show that the warming of the Earth is normal because it has done so before. Human action has not affected the warming of our planet, and many scientists have supporting a good cause as a reason to raise money and even raise taxes on such daily commodities as gasoline. Global warming is a fear of nothing more than fear of routine with misinterpreted data. Thank you.
All right, Christopher, the proposition's pretty clearly stated. The phrasing is a little awkward. There's no layout of the structure that's coming up. I thought you did a good job providing us with some background information. I think you've got a stronger argument that global warming is being exploited for political purposes than anything, because you've got evidence about illustrations about how the spending priorities are skewed, and you've got politicians admitting that they're using the issue for political manipulation, and you've got a couple of other pieces of information that apply to that pretty well. The other information, though, is very conclusionary. We're not getting any data. When you make the argument about we're overreacting to the global warming issue, I think you need to build a stronger case there. The best evidence you have on that information is the stuff that says that the deforestation has less impact on the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than we expected. But that's a little bit sketchy, and that's the only place where you're actually being fairly clear about the information. Later on in the speech, you talk about how it's part of the natural trends, but we don't get any example of those natural trends. We don't have any context for viewing the information that has occurred since 1988 that you cite as being the year that this whole kind of process started. So I think that the first and the third parts of the speech need a little bit more development in making them argumentative. The second part that talked about the political issues, I think, was a little bit clearer. The pacing is occasionally awkward, especially in the introduction. And there are a couple of places where it sounds like you're quoting material instead of citing material. You know, I'm not saying that these could not be your words, but the mantra of the Church of Global Warming is an interesting phrase, and it sounds like it came from someplace rather than spontaneously from your mind. You know, maybe you are that creative a thinker. That's a possibility. But if you are quoting, remember to always attribute the sources, because otherwise it's kind of creeping plagiarism, and you don't want that to be something that you're accused of. All right. Thank you.